Hi and welcome back. I'm Mary Jo, also known as Sojo, and this is my channel where I talk about all of my quilty stitchy things. And this is part 3 of what will I make with this Mindscape layer cake from Art Gallery Fabrics. So I have all my blocks made. Now we're just going to start adding the sashing and cornerstones. So I have 16 blocks, so there's going to be 4 rows of 4. Just going to kind of lay these out a little bit. So that's kind of going to be my first row. I know you can't see all of them. We're going to put some sashing between there. And I'm going to pin all of that together. So I'm going to have 4 rows with that, and in between those 4 rows I'm going to have a sashing and cornerstone row here. And I will get 3 of those sashing and cornerstone rows, and we'll sew it all together and make a quilt top. So I'm going to get started by pinning on my first row with the sashings in between. So I have that first row all pinned together. So I'm just going to kind of fold it up on itself a little bit. Set it to the side. Start making my piles. Now I need to start making a sashing row. So I'm going to need 4 of these horizontal sashings. And in between that, I'm going to need my cornerstones. So I'll need 3 cornerstones to go between the sashings. So I need a total of 3 of these horizontal sashing rows and 4 of those block rows. So I'm just going to keep going, and then I'll meet you back over at the sewing machine. So I have my rows all pinned together. They are stacked up here. I'm going to start sewing these down in my web type fashion. I always sew my quilt tops down using web piecings, like for that final construction. The only exception would be if it was set on point. That's a little bit harder to web piece together. But this, that's what I'm going to do. So let's see. There's the start of the block, and I know that because I put a pin in. I always put a pin on, I guess that would be the left side of the quilt. And I always put how many pins I put in there as the number of the row, since that's 1 pin. I know it's my first row. So I'm going to sew this whole row down. And then I will move over to the next row and sew that. Looks like the seam's flipping right there, so I had to correct that. Okay, I'm going to speed it up as I finish sewing this together. So I have sewn that together and pressed it. According to my video, I pressed that whole quilt top in 19 seconds. It's amazing how that happens. If only that worked in real life, I could get so much more done. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pin the rest of this quilt top all together, then finish sewing it on the sewing machine and press it, and I will show you what the finish looks like. It will just be the center of the quilt, and then tomorrow we will add borders. All right. So I have this all pinned together. So I'm just going to take it over here and sew the final 6 seams here, at least for the middle part, and then press it, and I'll show you what it looks like. Getting it all turned around because it is several hours later again. I know, life just interferes with my quilting time now. So I have this all pressed, it's laid out here. It's kind of hard to see. And I've got it under the pressing mat and some fabric over here, so it's not laying real flat, but there's a little bit about what it's looking like. With those blues and peach colors in there. So next time we are going to add a skinny white border, and then this for a bigger border, and then this will be the binding. All right, until then, bye.